Don't mind the dirty window, but there's my view, sun shining through the trees. Not too bad. Window's filthy. I gotta get it washed. You can't rush into these things. Anyways, that's looking over Daytona. That's Dawes Road going left to right, Daytona Avenue straight ahead. I love it here. It's a good little neighborhood. Nice and quiet. Beautiful rooming house. So, let's see. Dan's video. Adventures with Death. Well, I've been up all night. Couldn't sleep at all. Passing blood through my personal parts. All three. Mouth, nose, my anus, and personal parts. That can't be a good thing, but it happens every couple of weeks. I'll just start hemorrhaging for no reason. Well, there's a reason. They just, due to this COVID shit, they ain't got around to finding it out yet. But I go the 5th of July, I go to get my CT scan on my thorax. I see the cancer clinic on the 9th. Then I have MRIs. I have a whole slew of tests come up, a whole bunch of hard work. I don't find out about the hard work till next Saturday, but they keep putting that off. They're not going to have to worry about that because there'll be nothing left for me to do. I'm in quite a bit of pain, but I'm used to it now. It's going way back to 1999 when I shattered my neck there. It's been 20 years of hell ever since, I guess you could say. 21 years, 99, whatever many years that is. It's been a long time, but I was good for about 10 years in between, and then the cancer hit and everything went downhill. But they told me I'd be dead by the end of January 2019. Well, here we're coming up on July 2020, and by the grace of the creators, I'm still here. And I appreciate every day. Obviously, because I'm not sleeping anymore, so I want to enjoy all 24 hours of every day, 7 days a week. But, sometimes I like to sleep. We all do it once in a while. And I don't know where my life's headed. I know it's headed for better things. I can feel it. I can feel the energy in me. And like I said to the wife last night, I'm afraid that when I finish writing Jordan's biography, that I may just lay down and die. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to do. How do you tell the world how you failed your son, how society failed your son, and he ends up hanging himself on Christmas morning at the age of 29? How do you tell people that? I figured it would take me a month to write the book. I started writing it around January 4th. I'm still not done the book. I got about a paragraph and a half to do. What I've done is fall back and started doing some of the rewrite, the first proof, because to be honest, I'm afraid to end it, because I don't know what'll happen to me after. I have a goal right now, tell my son's story, get it out there so that they can see what the system did to him, what we did to him as parents, what all his family did to him, how he slipped through every damn crack there was in the system. He fell through every one, and the ones that he didn't fall through, they pushed him through. But that's all going to be in the book. That's not really what I want to talk about right now, but as you can see, Jordan is always on my mind. When I get like this, I have a guardian angel, Sheena Eve, a very dear friend of mine that died a tragic death, and I can feel her presence. And she comes and she soothes me. She's soothing me now, or I'd be a puddle of jelly on the floor crying. And I can't believe, I'm going to be 63 October the 5th, and I can't believe what I'm seeing the world go through. It's like history's repeating itself. We're back to the late 60s, early 70s, Kent State, the race riots, all the turmoil in the States. Only this time it's 3.0. The population was a lot smaller then. We didn't have mass media. A lot of people had no idea what was going on in the world. Well, now you can't hide anything in this world. Due to mass media and every person on the planet having 1 or 2 cameras in their pocket, everything is out there. It's out there for everybody to see, everybody to hear. That's why it's important you be true. You be a true person. Be humble and be true to yourself. But you know what? Be true to everybody around you. Lies beget lies. The more lies you have, the bigger the lie gets, the worse the story gets. Somebody screws up, everybody gets hurt. If you're truthful right from the start, whether it be with whether you like a person or you don't like this place or you don't like that place or you're not happy with the politics. Speak what you believe to be the truth, but don't open your mouth unless you know it's the truth or you believe it to be the truth. Don't uh, don't express your life in a way just to appease others. Don't become a sheeple. Be a people, never a sheeple. Don't be a follower. You know, the Illuminati's not per se an office somewheres with a bunch of rich people sitting around planning the destruction of us. The Illuminati is the wealth of the world, working together towards the lower class to keep their wealth, to keep the lower class as their minions and their slaves. That's the Illuminati. They are the ones that put mass media, like I wrote a blog, I believe yesterday or the day before, about how they're constantly mentioning from 6 a.m. in the morning to 6 a.m. the next morning on television, radio, any form of media, they are constantly speaking about intoxicants, whether it's drugs or booze, and not in negative ways. They're talking about it in positive, like it's okay to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and have a glass of wine. It's okay to be a drunk if you do it sitting in your backyard on a nice patio out of a martini glass. Does that make you any better than the poor homeless guy sitting across the street in the field with a $2 can of beer, wishing he had a sandwich to go with it? Does it make you a better person that you can drink at 7 o'clock in the morning? Why do we always have to be intoxicated? Why do we have to hide our true selves behind intoxicants? You know, and this is from the beginning of time. If you, no matter in all written history and probably in caveman drawings too, there are always depicting wine or mead or opium or, you know, heroin addicts aren't new. They've been around since the beginning of time. Drug addicts aren't new. They've been around since the beginning of time. Opium's one of the oldest drugs in the world. It's one of the most versatile drugs in the world. Without opium, modern medicine would be screwed. But that don't make it right to abuse it. I did drugs. I still do drugs. I've been doing drugs since I was 10 years old. I started out actually since 8. I started sniffing glue. I sniffed glue 8, 9, and 10. And then in 10, a series of unfortunate events introduced me to heroin because I was being used as a test tube. When the boys cut their heroin, they'd give it to me first to see if I died. And if I didn't die, they'd sell it. And if I did die, they'd throw me in the ice bucket, hit me with the ice, and zap me, do whatever they had to do to get me back. That was at the age of 10. By 12, I was running around with a gun shooting people to get heroin. By 14, I had all the big boys in town thinking that, having me believe that I was their best friend, when in reality what I was a juvenile that couldn't be charged with anything, and they were paying me big money to do some pretty crazy stuff, which I gladly did because I needed my heroin. By 16, I was running with bikers. By 18, I was living with bikers in prison. So I lost most of my teenage years and most of my early 20s. Somehow I managed to live through all that. Didn't know my mother. Met her when I was 12, met her when I was 22, when I got out of prison. Got to spend just over a year with her, and her boyfriend brutally murdered her. Her ex-boyfriend brutally murdered her. He laid in the house for 3 days waiting for her to come home from my first wife of mine's honeymoon. And she walked in the door and he gutted her like you would gut a pig. He got 5 years, he did 14 months. Last time I went to court, I did 2.5 years waiting to go to trial. He did 14 months for killing my mother. And they said it wasn't premeditated, even though he laid in the house for 3 days waiting for her to come home. He broke into the house and sat in there for 3 days, and as soon as she walked through the door, he cut her up like a stuffed pig. And her dying words to me was not to go back to prison going after him. So I've had to live since, July 13th, 1981, with the frustration of not going and killing this man, because I would have killed him in an instant. I had full intentions of leaving the hospital that day and killing him, but my mother made me promise not to, so I didn't. And I've regretted it ever since. But it was a good regret, because if I had killed him, I wouldn't have met Jenny. I wouldn't have 3 beautiful sons, 2 beautiful dogs, and multiple personalities. Life can be very bad. If you read my life story, I've been through some very, very tragic shit. People say my life is tragic. It's tragic if you're reading it, but, for the person living the life, whether it's good, bad, horrible, disaster, or the glorious life on the planet, you're just living your life. You don't see you the way other people see you. My life had a lot of ups and downs, but it was the times. I wasn't the only kid going through it. The whole South End, all of us went through the same thing. You know, drunken parents, parents having glue sniffing parties on Friday nights. A lot of us got put into the foster system. I went through 32 foster homes in 10 years. From the age of 6 months to 10 years old, I went through 32 homes. That's 32 mums and dads, not counting my original ones. I never said the word mum or dad until I never said mum until I was in my 20s. I didn't say I didn't see my dad that much. You know, I only lived home a few years. I came home, I think, when I was 10, and I left when I was 12. Ernie and I left, and we went and joined the Warehouse Commune. Decided we were going to be hippies and travel the world, which we did. We did travel quite a bit. Ernie and I, you know, we separated paths because I went on the dark side and he went on the light side, but you know, that was a choice I made. I chose the dark. I thrived off the excitement of being the gangster that I was, because I was a gangster. No ifs, ands, or doubts. Those that know me know what I've done. I've hurt people bad. I've killed people. I've shot people. I've robbed people. And I'm ashamed of all of it. But I put it all on paper, and I put it all on ebook, and it's all out on the web. I'm out there. I got nothing to hide from anybody. You wanna know how I feel about you? I'll tell you. You might not like it, or you might love me after, but I'm not gonna lie. I made it through life lying for 55 years, and it got me nothing. So I guess, you know, today's video blog is saying, don't be a liar. Be a fire. Be the fire that makes people smile, you know? Even when you're crying inside, look at everybody, strangers on the street, and smile. They'll smile back, you'll see. I noticed when I get on crowded buses and in crowded rooms, I'll say, like, where are all the smiles? Can't anyone smile anymore? Give me 5 minutes on a bus, I'll have the whole bus laughing. Put me on a subway train, the bigger the audience, the more laughs I get, because how I deal with my pain and my misery, I turn it into joy. If I can feel the pain, then by God, I'm alive today. If I wake up and I don't feel no pain, I think I'm dead. I'll lay there for 20 minutes afraid to move because I think I'm dead. But when I wake up full of pain and blood leaking out of me and stuff, I say, thank you, Lord. Thank you for another sunrise. Just like today, I sat in this window and I watched the sun come up. Well, the tree blocks it, but I watched the sunlight come through the leaves, and I just say to myself, what a beautiful world. If only people were as beautiful as their surroundings, wouldn't the world be a better place if we could all just be flowers instead of weeds? Anyways, you know, that's Dan's tearful Monday morning blog for you, and I love yous all, and peace out, and pray it forward.